Southern, that division over in there. You on Southern, and before you start going over the rent.
I'm saying I don't see them.
No, no, they're
listed.
not there. I was just generally speaking.
Oh, that's where they're at. I didn't know.
I mean, on
How
the
come they're
list.
not listed though?
Oh, that's, because they're looking at millage as opposed to population.
So they don't have any millage at Crown Lake now?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Not sure how that works.
I said, you sound like you was at the house. I said, how they doing this? How you able to do this?
What suburban towns? Yeah, I wanna know.
This is their millage. I wonder if they got service tax.
We need somebody
Other
who
way around.
can give us some insights on that.
Wow.
Oh, Lake Park is right up there with us, huh?
Yeah, they went down.
They partly went down.
They used to be right with us. Where are they? Oh, there they are. They went down to 5 points.
That's what I said.
5.0. That's cutting theirs almost in half. They used to be 8 something, almost 9.
Well, McConnell's are gonna be donating $1 billion to us, so we can.
So we'll all
Well,
be-
half of that
we'll all be able
billion
to
is
float.
something you won the other day, so just half of it is okay.
Feedback from who?
So we smack out. We're gonna give this to you. Give us something.
What is that one?
The modification.
Hmm?
We're gonna, that'll be under my comments.
All right, and just as information, we're 5 minutes away, actually 4 minutes, and then we'll get started.
I don't see it. Where is that? Where is it? Are we supposed to sign in on yours? Oh, it is right there. Monday, January 19th.
Change this to a discussion.
No action, okay. Okay. Thank you.
It's time for convocation. Think it rolls to use convocation this time? You okay, or want me to do it? You good?
I can do it.
Okay. At some point, it's gonna land at McConnell.
Okay, next
Dodging
one's
it.
McConnell.
Okay, we're going to get started in just another a minute or two, but in the interim, just while we're waiting, if you have your cell phones with you, if you haven't placed those on vibrate yet, we'll give you a moment to do that.
I mean, they produced it, it don't mean we don't do that. I know. Is it- when
Okay,
did they-
thank you so much for your patience. It is now 6 o'clock. And so at this time, we're going to call the Town of Mangonia Park regular Town Council meeting of January 6, 2026 into session. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Buchanan Webb.
Here.
Councilmember Davis Quince.
Here.
Councilmember McConnell.
Yeah, here.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
I'm here.
And Mayor Alberry.
Here. Thank you so much, and we have a full quorum. At this time, let us stand by our invocation, please.
Most gracious and eternal Father God, as we meet together again, God, we welcome another year, 2026. Join us together like a link, a chain that can't be broken as we get together to make decision for our community, our residents, and all our contractors and everyone that come in contact with the town. We bless this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Our pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. You may be seated. Just as we attend to our agenda, are there any additions, deletions, or substitutions to the agenda?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, if I could turn your attention to item 7A, where it says request authorization to ratify an emergency repair. I'm going to ask that this be a discussion only tonight, just so I can give you a quick update, and we will bring it back at the next meeting for potential ratification, but just to give an update on this. Wasn't quite ready for tonight. And also on item 7C, as you're reading along, and on the second line, it says for the electrical installation of 3, I would have you cross out 3, the word 3 and the number 3. That's incorrect. It was actually one new pump that we had.
Thank you so much.
Okay?
Okay. Any other additions or deletions,
But that is,
substitutions?
that's it.
Okay, so noted for the record, that is of course 7A, which will now be a discussion regarding the ratifying of emergency payment. And item C, will go from, we're actually doing a pen and ink change for the record. That would be 1 new pump as opposed to 3.
Correct.
I think that there's no other additions or deletions to the agenda. Motion for approval.
Mr. Mayor, so move approved.
Second.
That's been properly moved and second that we approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. It is carried. Thank you so much if you follow along with us. Generally, on our meetings, if we have anything on the agenda, feel free, there's some on the back table if you don't have any. Items that would be annotated with an asterisk would be considered for our consent agenda. At this time, are there any items to be considered for the consent agenda?
None from staff, sir.
Hearing none, thank you so much. So we're going to move on in our meeting. Our next item is our item 5, and this is our Palm Beach County League of Cities. We'll go to our attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next meeting is January 21st of this month, and they published the speaker will be, it's going to be out at the Village of Wellington. The address out there is 12150 Forest Hill Boulevard in Wellington, Florida. The speaker is Michael Asensio. He's the Director of Cyber Policy Programs at FIU, so I expect that will be something to do with cybersecurity and how it relates to local government. But just for calendaring purposes, that's January 21st at 11:30. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you so much. Any questions or comments for our attorney in the League of Cities? If not, we're going to continue on our agenda. Our next item is item 6A, and this is resolution number 2026-01. And this is the final site application number SR 2025-01 at 4805 East Avenue. We're going to go to our attorney committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll read the resolution by title. It's resolution number 2026-01, a resolution of the Town Council of Mangonia Park confirming approval of land development application number SR 2025-01 regarding site plan review for a property located at 4805 East Avenue, Mangonia Park, Florida 33407, parcel control number 44434305, 0800010062, providing an effective date and for other purposes. Is the applicant present? Is that you, sir? Can you come to the podium and give your name to the council, please?
Good evening.
Hey, good evening.
Council, my name is Daniel Apanador.
Thank you, sir. Let me swear you in, and any town staff that's going to be speaking, raise your right hands for me. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, and I'll turn back to the council for any ex parte disclosures on this item.
I went by there.
Okay. Thank you.
None. Okay. Thanks so much. So at this time, we've had it read by title, and we're going to allow you at this time. You have the floor.
Okay, I guess you guys have
Mhm.
slideshow in there in front of you.
It is,
So-
I apologize, Dan, I'll interrupt just to say, Mr. Mayor, his presentation is on your tablet or in your packet. And also, to the side, you do have a staff letter from our planning staff and a letter from Mr. Van Cott, our engineer. So I'm sorry for the interruption, Gordon.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, so good evening again. So this is, for the record, this is the item for final site plan approval for this property located at 4805 East Avenue. We are working on behalf of Mrs. Roberts, the owner, and we are collecting our architects. And tonight, we are requesting final site plan approval. If you go on the next slide, the location map is for your information. It just shows the location of the subject property. The parcel highlighted for your reference. And it's surrounded by a roadway network shown to provide context within the existing industrial area. So, if you have guys any questions on the location, please let me know. On the next slide, slide number 3, what I have here is that the property is located within the industrial zoning district. The proposed use is warehousing, which is permitted, it's a permitted use, within its, zone classification. And all the required concurrency, variances, and maintenance to review being previously approved, by the council. On your next slide, slide number 4, slide one. This slide provides a reference view of the approved civil site plan. For your reference, all engineering, draining, and site layout components have been reviewed through the town's technical review process, and it was found to be compliant within the town standards. On slide number 5. The project consists of a 2-story warehouse building, which I have some renderings right there for you to take a look at. The total building height is 35 feet, which is compliant with the town height and massing regulations. And the overall scale proportions are consistent with the surrounding industrial development. Let's move for slide number 5. For slide number 6, the one says materials and architecture. This building is designed to be using durable, low maintenance industrial materials, and it's primarily going to be made out of CMU or concrete masonry unit, which is pretty standard in South Florida, of course. As you can see, the design is very straightforward and is compatible with existing industrial character of the area. On your next slide, slide number 7. The perimeter landscape is provided in accordance with the town code requirements. Trees and shrubs are proposed to enhance the site appearance, and it will provide appropriate buffering along all the property boundaries. Let's see, for slide number 8. As you may already well know, a traffic study was reviewed and also approved by the town engineer. The impact fee is going to be in the amount of $739.23, and it has been calculated by our engineer and accepted. The site access meets all the town standards for vehicular circulation. There is no pedestrian connections proposed, and the reason why is because there is no existing sidewalk in the existing street. And last but not least, there's no off-site or neighborhood traffic impacts will be anticipated. For our last slide, So based on all the information that I just presented respectfully request a final site plan approval for the property located at 4805 East Avenue. All the departments have reviewed and approved the plans, and the project is ready to proceed for permitting upon council approval. And thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much for your presentation. Before we do, let's see if there's anything from staff before we go, and then we'll come to the dais.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, the only thing from staff is we do have recommendation letters from Van and from the planning office. Not aware of any conditions that had to be met on this, but I'll answer any questions that you may have, and I'm certainly Daniel's open to any questions.
Okay, thank you so much. You have the hard copy? Okay. All right, thanks so much. Let me go with the council and see if there's any questions, and I'll assist you here. Okay, council, questions or comments?
I have a question. Thank you for your presentation. I went by the property today, couldn't find anyone to ask a few questions. Can you go back over what you said about the pedestrian crossing? I understand there's no sidewalk within there, and I think I hear you said there's not enough traffic for a sidewalk?
No, what I meant is that on the west side of the street,
Mhm.
on East Avenue, there's no sidewalk, so that's what I meant. There's
Mhm.
no pedestrian connection, a sidewalk connection,
Mhm.
because there's none existing on the entire west side of the street. So there's nowhere to connect to. So that's what I meant.
So there wouldn't be a sidewalk on the east side?
Well, I mean, there's a
On-
sidewalk across the street,
Mhm.
but not right adjacent to our property line.
And I'm going to have to add, across the street is actually West Palm Beach
Mhm.
from that.
Okay, any other questions by Councilwoman?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Any other council comments or questions? Okay. I know this is the second time around. We had the
Yeah.
preliminary, so if there's no questions or comments from council?
Would you be opposed to putting a sidewalk?
Well, yes, we could. I don't have the answer to that at this point.
The
I asked a question because as the community starts growing, you know, others will be walking and cycling, and sometimes they try to not go in a busy area. And there's like a lot of businesses over there, and then even today I see a few kids riding their bike. So it could be that they ride on that back part to go over to Hampton Court, and then there wasn't enough sidewalk, so it leaves them to actually walk in the road or ride in the road. So I would think any buildings or structure or renovation coming in for safety reasons, you know, considering a sidewalk.
Well, I believe. I mean, I believe there's actually room to add it.
Mhm.
I would have to double check what we have already drafted,
Mhm.
just to make sure there's room for it.
Okay.
When I looked at it, I did the measurements.
I'm sorry?
I did the measurements.
Oh, you did?
I did.
So there's room for it?
Yeah.
Okay. What's,
We
sorry.
can do it, I guess.
Architect.
Right, just to her question, and I'll get right to you. What's the current setback? Just for the record, I'm looking, and you'll probably know a whole lot quicker than I can find it. I know we have a requirement, but I'm looking at the. Because there's other considerations as well. Before we have that discussion. Okay,
So yeah, the
That's it?
greenbelt setback that we have is
Is that 20?
15 feet.
15?
15 feet to the front.
Okay, then in the back. I'm saying 20?
It was indicated. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay. Alrighty.
So, Mr. Mayor, they actually received variances
Mhm.
for their setbacks. That's on page 5
Mhm.
of the staff report. A little chart there. So,
Mm.
shows what's required by code and what their variance indicates,
Mhm.
just for your information.
Okay, thanks so much. So those things considered, understanding where we are in the process, the approval process might be difficult. But let me go to our attorney before any other questions. You maybe have something to add to this part of it, and then we'll come to you, Vice Mayor.
Yeah, and I think, Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to relay, I think that came up at the staff level, and Manager Metcalf, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that the town engineer's position was he was concerned about the town having to take over a sidewalk there because there are no other connections, that it was more likely to get broken because it would just end. And then that ultimately, once it's constructed, becomes the responsibility of the town to correct because it would be in the public right of way. So that's my recollection. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ken, but I think there was some concern because there isn't anything else along that stretch. That's not to say that the council could not impose that as a condition if there's a desire for that connectivity. I would agree with the mayor. I think the dumpster enclosure is over there, so I don't know that it could connect all the way through. It may be a little tight there, but if the council wants to impose a condition that the applicant attempt to put in a sidewalk, you could certainly do that. It sounds like there's an appetite on the part of the applicant to try to accommodate that if it works. But perhaps if there's a condition to be added, it could be phrased in a way that if it is not feasible, that it doesn't require them to redesign the entire project.
Okay,
Okay, thanks so much for the clarity.
thank you.
Anything else, Councilwoman
No,
Webb?
that would
Okay.
be all. Thanks.
Vice Mayor?
No, I think pretty much I was just considering the same thing. Thank you for bringing your presentation before us this evening.
Okay,
I was just trying to get clarification as to east and west side. I see East Avenue, that would be the east side of the property, next to East Avenue, is that correct?
The east side of the property, it'll be, I'm sorry, can you?
Is that right next, I'm sorry, is that right next to East Avenue? Is that the east side of the property?
It is on, Vice Mayor, it is on East Avenue. He's actually on the west side of that.
Okay. I was just trying to make sure I was clear on that. All right, thank you.
Okay. Other council comments or questions?
No, that's all right.
Okay. Righty, now, as it relates to a proposed sidewalk, we'd be looking at the length of the project or the length of the property, and then it would just sort of dead end thereafter, or, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know if that sidewalk can sort of fade into the ground or not, so that it prevents that breaking, because when you have something like that, I guess that thick, and then it just abruptly stops, and then you start seeing that kind of breaking at the edges and so forth. And again, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know what would. And at the same time, again, at this point in time in the process, a sidewalk is always a good thing, I guess, to have in the event needed. Perhaps an earlier conversation, I probably would have been more befitting. Vice Mayor?
To that point, if we're looking at a sidewalk that would only be consistent to the property line or the building width, that would be considered to me more of a safety hazard if a child rides their bicycle on that and then drops down to the ground at the lower level after the sidewalk ends. So we may want to consider that as a continuation of planning for all of the properties along East Avenue before we make that a contingency for this particular project.
Okay. Or consideration be that as a condition of approval, the applicant would agree, should there be additional development there, that's, so a sidewalk could be consistent, that it goes from end to end, and so it wouldn't be sort of an endangerment to persons. That probably would be more appropriate at this point, as opposed to saying you put one in and then it. So it'd be like the bridge to nowhere that we had a long time ago with I-95. Yeah. So at this point, so.
The reference, I'm sorry.
A while back, I'm sorry. Right. Though Palm Beach County residents would it was a bridge to nowhere.
There was a time 95 ended, and we had to route around the city to get onto 95 again. So that was at the bridge to nowhere because it wasn't a continuation.
The flyovers were not connected. It was just, if if you kept going through the barriers, you just kind of, so.
Yeah.
That's another story, however. Okay, okay, but in the here and now.
Like lost.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, just so I'm clear, so were you saying that if the neighboring property is developed, that maybe between the two property owners that they install one?
That's
Is that the-
right.
Because
for-
that is gonna be coming before council in the
Right,
near
and
future.
so as it relates for the discussion tonight, that as a condition of approval, the applicant understands that in the event that the other properties are developed, so that we're consistent, so he would have to be consistent with those other projects that would have a sidewalk. Wouldn't have a sidewalk on other properties and nothing there, then, right, so.
Very good.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'm just to understand, you guys require us to provide a sidewalk?
No, what I'm suggesting is not at this time.
Not
But
this time, okay.
if the other adjacent properties are developed and requires a sidewalk, then we couldn't have a sidewalk and then nothing at your property. And so if indeed it's part of the motion, it would be that you understand that somewhere in the future, you may be required to put in a
Okay.
sidewalk, and you would be agreeing to that or not agreeing to it. So that would be up to you as it relates to the motion and so forth, okay? But not at this time, no.
Okay.
In the future, you may be required to, in essence.
Okay, all right, I'll relay that to Mrs. Roberts.
It has to be a motion first, but that's what I'm proposing, as opposed to stating that we need to do that now. It'd be,
Uh-huh.
yes, perhaps somewhere in the future.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Okay. All righty, any other questions?
I just want to know, is this gonna be the color of the building? That's gonna be the color?
Okay.
Okay.
All righty.
That's all I want to know.
Okay, and so we have the elevation and everything,
Go
so.
ahead, put it closer.
We actually have it here. We don't know if you want to turn it around and so that those in the
Audience.
audience could see it. But we do have it here. So we're going to give opportunity if there's any other council comments or questions before we go to the floor.
No.
Okay, hearing that there are none at this time, we're going to now open the floor to any public comment, if there's any comment from the public.
And Mr. Mayor, while they're coming up for comments, just so to Ms. Davis Quince's observation, this was the color that our planner
Picked, okay.
recommended. So that's
So-
just for your
Earth
concern.
tones and-
Okay.
All righty. Okay, so the floor is open for public comment. If there's any public comment, we'll just have residents speak. Okay.
Not working, so I'm just gonna talk.
Speak loud.
Hey, good evening, council.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Good new, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and we made it
Mhm.
Praise God.
for a good 2026. I've heard a couple things that have been articulated. I've heard, if they put a sidewalk, it would be the town's responsibility to maintain. I've heard 15 feet setback. I've heard pedestrian endangerment. And so orientate me first before I go further. This is 48th Street, I'm at 45th. 48th Street, west side.
This is west side, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct me or help me out, how much pedestrian traffic gonna be in that area? If EV? And how many people gonna cut, short, walk through that area in the industrial area? So that's the first thing, foremost. The second thing, you brought up bridge to nowhere, and I guess you're trying to partial for that being a condition you gotta move forward. But, just kinda explain to me the importance of the pedestrians, or, because to me, it was just me, I don't see the foot traffic of pedestrians cutting off in there, so someone happy, anybody can jump in and ask that question. I'm trying to be as clear as I can.
I can answer it.
Thank you.
Those are all great questions, thank you. So based on my observation, I went out there twice.
Okay.
There are buses that actually either drops off on 45th Street, or you have schools where the kids actually either ride or walk over. So if you were to go over there in the mornings, you will see the kids either walking or riding, and also, so even if there's not gonna be any on the weekend or at night, think about the traffic for school within those hours. So I believe while we're, renovating and upgrading, the community is building, we're having more kids, and eventually you probably see parents, not everyone drives, and just probably want to use that back route to get to where they need to get to so they can get there faster. Not because you don't really see it, that don't mean it don't happen. And I was actually I was there today. I waited till the buses passed, I waited till the kids passed. So I seen it for myself.
All right, thank you for clearing
You're
it up.
welcome.
I needed to see it through another lens,
Mhm.
because I just wasn't seeing it. Since you explained it that way and you went to the site, that helps.
Okay.
Just say hypothetically you move forward. Mr. Mayor, you mentioned, the bridge to nowhere.
Okay, now that was analogous.
I know, but
Okay.
I kind of
Okay.
soaked it in.
Okay.
So you kind of left yourself open, so I'm gonna go with it.
Mhm.
Even though it's just a bridge to nowhere. And you're talking in the future condition of the business adjacent to it or side by side, the side to, and we're talking, right away, a 15 feet setback. And the attorney says it's tight there, it's a dump there, this and that. How can our business that's coming in town, the future business coming in town because it's happening, how can we make that happen? And maybe I'm asking you no question that you can't answer, but hoping someone can kind of give me an educated guess of what should or could happen.
Mr. Mayor, and the, if I may, and the attorney can correct me, I mean, town council can request conditions be placed on approval, so that would be within council's purview if they wanted to request that. As far as making them do it, I'm not sure of the legal aspects of that, but town council can request, certainly.
And if, Mr. Mayor, if I could just add a little clarity there. So the council can impose conditions that are proportional to the application, proportional to the request being made. So this is a redevelopment of a new site. Requesting them to put in a sidewalk is certainly proportional to that. You couldn't ask them to build a 400,000 square foot gymnasium on town property, right? That would not be proportional to what's being requested. But certainly from a public safety perspective, putting in a sidewalk would be proportional to what's being requested. Just to avoid confusion, so the sidewalk would be in the public right of way. It would be outside of the boundary of the property line. So it's tight there by the dumpster, but that's within the property boundary. There's a little bit of an odd curvature of the road in the plan, so probably the area can accommodate a sidewalk. I don't know, technically this is going outside my expertise, this is typically the engineer's review, but it looks like there probably could be a sidewalk, enough room for a sidewalk there. But again, it would be outside of the property owner's boundary, and it would then, if installed by the applicant, if required by the town, would be the responsibility of the town going forward. That's how these are typically done. If sidewalks have to be put in or are requested to be put in, typically the applicants are amenable to putting them in. It usually benefits everybody. There is, as Ken said, a development coming forward probably pretty soon right to the south. So if there is redevelopment, this is the time to get that infrastructure in if the town wants it, and you can certainly request it. Again, the condition has to be proportional to the request being made, but certainly a sidewalk would be that.
That's right. Yeah, thanks so much. And then too, also just looking at according to our engineer, who has the ability to sort of determine these kind of things, whether it's not as a safety issue. I don't know in terms of just the integrity of the strength of the sidewalk, that if we were to do that, and then you put that sidewalk in and then it just starts breaking, because there's no supportive piece going on further on, then we're responsible for fixing it. So my question becomes, are we then liable should something happen? Somebody go in and the sidewalk starts breaking at the edges and someone's walking and they trip over it. We live in a very litigious society. And so when we're talking public safety, in as much as we're able to look forward to determine whether or not it would be a public hazard, I think at this point in time, as our engineer sort of articulated, I would not propose that it be done at this time, but make it a condition for the future. That's just my opinion. So.
Thank you, Attorney Bernard. Thank you, Councilwoman Webb. Thank you, Town Manager.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
This is my closing comment, and maybe just me, especially with legality and people suing and such, that way you can put a you do make the condition and he do decide to build a sidewalk, where it ends, put a barrier there, a sidewalk, close, stop, that's just too far of a stretch.
I think in terms of signage, you're sort of advertising, just in case something happens, but I'll go to our attorney.
And that would be something that the town would have to do because it would be on our property, so we would have to put up the signage and then maintain the fact that the signage falls over or gets kicked over or whatever, so that would become the town's responsibility.
Yes.
Okay. You got any question for me? I think they cleared it. You don't want to jump in, if not, just listen.
Okay.
Like-
No, we'll if anything, we'll
Earl.
take it up here. And
Earl, put that back, please.
Okay.
The microphone.
Is it?
Yeah, thank you. The microphone. Yeah, put the microphone back.
Just for everyone's information, the batteries died on that, so we're just asking everyone to speak loudly as they can. My apologies.
That way it ain't just
All righty, so at this
overwhelming.
time, the floor is still open. If there's additional public comment, the floor is still open, as it relates to this subject. Okay, all righty. Any other comments as it relates to this subject, the proposed development? If there's no other comments from the floor, we'll close the floor to public comment. We're back at the dais. Is there any additional comments or questions or concerns as it relates to the proposed project from the dais?
Oh, I just wanted to ask this one thing. I'm looking at this particular sky view
Correct.
of the property. It appears to have quite a few vehicles on the property. Is this, are these vehicles a part of your business? And where will they be placed when this building is there?
I honestly, I've been there a couple years ago, and when you see it in Google Maps, it changes.
Mhm.
To me, it's a vacant lot.
Okay. I know when I went by there, I saw a few items on the property, but this was when the first review came a couple of months ago. But I wasn't sure, okay.
Okay. Alrighty. Any other comments or questions? Okay, and to the applicant, and you've received the letter from our engineer as well as from our planners. Right. There's not a whole lot here, but as it relates to any conditions stated in the letter, you have read and agreed to those conditions?
Correct.
Okay, so noted. So at this point, if there's no other questions or comments? Okay. Motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, so move that we approve
With the stated condition.
the stated conditions.
Okay.
Resolution number 2026-01, final site plan application number SR 2025-01 with the condition, the exception if we could get a sidewalk when that other building goes up.
Okay, or future development.
Future
takes
development,
place.
sorry.
Okay.
And just so the record is clear, Mr. Mayor, is the motion that sidewalk be installed if if any adjoining property owner were to
Yes.
redevelop and install a sidewalk?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Alrighty, is there a second to that motion?
I second that.
It has been properly moved and seconded that we approve resolution number 202601, final site plan application SR 2025-01 with the stated conditions. If the applicant has any questions as it relates to those conditions? Again?
Just one question. So,
Okay.
this is kind of like my first time doing this, but after this, are we able to continue doing the building permit process?
Okay, we'll get to that in just a
Okay.
moment. We'll
Once
hold
ap-
to.
If it's approved, then yes.
Yes, okay. Alrighty, and of course, that's with the future installation of the sidewalk. That's one of the conditions as well.
Okay.
Okay, alrighty, so with that, it has been properly moved and seconded. Any questions on the motion? Okay, and with that, the applicant has agreed to all of the stated conditions, be they oral or written. And also understanding that there's no outside storage, which is all part of their approval as well.
Yeah.
Okay, alrighty. So with that, if there's no additional questions on the motion, roll call, please.
Councilmember Buchanan Webb,
Yes.
Councilmember Davis Quince,
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Johnson,
Yes.
and Mayor Alberry.
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you so much. We look forward to working with you. Okay. Okay, certainly.
Happy New Year.
Alrighty. Right, and just as we're going to our next item, I failed to greet everyone. Happy New Year. We're glad that we're here in 2026 and looking for big things, so my apologies, I missed that. We're going to continue on our agenda. Our next item is item 7A, and this is a discussion regarding authorization to ratify an emergency payment to Movant Service and Manufacturing in an amount of $11,589.23. Ken?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, briefly, and I think it might be better after this if we speak one-on-one, if you like, before we put it on the next agenda, but just to give everyone an update, a little bit of background on what happened. Last week, we started getting reports from the Mangonia Hills subdivision of some low water pressure. And all indications were that the pressure from our end, meaning from the water plant, was okay. That registered at 50, which typically we keep the pressure between 45 and 50 psi. But we were getting these reports, so staff proceeded to try to find out what the issue was. We determined that it probably was a leak in some area, and after a day or so of trying to find the leak, we physically could not see a leak on the ground, so we had to call in a sonar company that had very specialized leak detection equipment. So that's what we did. As we're under the gun to find this, we agreed to their amount of $11,589.23. We did have to pay half of that up front. They were very successful, very quickly found, I believe, 3 leaks, and our staff was able to make those repairs. But just so you'll understand, this was on the agenda. I backed up and put it as a discussion because as of today, our consultant, utility consultant, Mr. Pinkney, has had discussions with that company. So we're just trying to calculate a reasonable bill. And as we move forward with that, I'll be happy to brief you one-on-one, and it will most likely be on your next agenda. So with that, I'll answer any questions that you may have.
Okay. Great. Thanks so much. We appreciate the information and look forward to it coming back to us.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I agree.
Righty. So with that, then we'll move on our agenda. Our next item is item 7B, and this is a request for authorization to replace the polymer piping system inside the chlorine room at the water treatment plant in an amount not to exceed $18,575. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, so my apologies. When we were amending the agenda, I should have said that this is a ratification of action that's already been taken. So back in December, probably around your last meeting in December, we had been patching the piping system in the chlorine room at the water plant, and it just became apparent after some water tests were being performed by the water and sewer people up on Boardman that our chlorine levels were low, so we had to trace to what the problem was, and it was traced back to this room and all the leaks that we were having. Of course, there were some pumps and whatnot that needed to be switched out. At that point, once we heard from the health department, we went ahead and replaced the piping, and that cost came to $18,575. And this was a, if I may say so, a good decision. I know that the mayor has been by to see this. I know Council Member Buchanan Webb went by to see it today. I would invite all of you to stop by and look at this work. It was really a good job. But I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. This was totally necessary to do.
And just before comments, I wasn't, I was paying attention. I was looking at my phone. I had taken a whole lot of pictures that I failed to send. That way you would have some visuals. I do commend the guys. They were there working very hard. And in the heat and everything else before the cool days came, and did a very good job. And so I commend at that time, and I thank all of the guys for all of the hard work. And I'll share those pictures. It's actually in the other phone. So, okay.
I'm also pretty impressed. I was there about a month ago.
Right.
And based on going back today, I'm like, wow, what a transformation. It was really good to see what they're actually over there doing. I took pictures also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, and it's good to know that, that they're working very hard identifying things in order to keep us safe, to make sure our water quality is good, and so I commend the guys. I commend them.
I'll pass that on. Thank
So,
you.
as Ken stated, the work has been done. Evidence of that has, of course, is if you just go by, you'll see it. And so, of course, as he stated, this is simply a ratification of work that was done. Some of it was emergency, and so we had to move real quick to get it done. Okay. So, with that, questions or comments from council?
Just a comment, when have we spent money on the chlorine room in the past?
So what we did 5 years ago, we did a bleach to chlorine
Conversion.
conversion. Thank you. You get old, you struggle for words. And that was 5 years ago. Recently, Mr. Melvin put in a new analyzer. Outside of that, there hasn't been much done. Now, with that conversion did come the simple shelter that's over the tanks, but the room itself, not much has been done in recent years.
And all you replaced was piping that you hadn't worked on in 10
Actually-
years?
Yeah, actually, it's a bit more than that, but we're going to have
It was
Mr.
more than
Pinckney come
that.
forward and.
Let an
There's
expert
more
get
than-
up there and talk about it.
Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening.
Happy New Year to you.
That room hasn't been updated, as Ken stated, like 5 years. So what took place was some of the pumps, the chemical pumps that actually feeds the chlorine wasn't actually delivering what they should be. We had a company come in and they checked these things out. We were dealing with them, Odyssey, where we purchased the bleach from. Odyssey, they came in and they said, we totally need to change out the pumps. They was way outdated, so some pumps was also added in there, the chemical pumps. And then the leaks was just deteriorating over time. So it really needed it. It wasn't getting the chlorine to the remote area of the city. The health department like for us to have a certain amount of chlorine in the system at the farthest point of the city. So we were trying to make sure we're meeting those demands, making sure we have the adequate amount of chlorine in this area. Because as they was adding on, before we get away and adding on, we need to make sure that those pumps are pumping to where they need to pump. So they had to replace the pipe, because we're gonna leaking the bleach, now it's not getting to where it needs to go. So it really needed to be done.
Right. There was also, and feel free to jump in, there was also the safety station, the eye wash station that had to be installed, and a few other things that we just didn't have there to begin with.
We
And
need that.
Uh-huh.
We need that.
Right.
We need that because you spring a leak in there, it's 12% bleach, so it's gonna burn you. You get it on your hand, you can feel it. You know, it's hot, very hot.
Right. Okay. And again, as I stated, I'll share those pictures with Ken, and Ken can send them out so that everyone gets a visual, unless you want to go by and take a look at it and arrange it with Ken to go by. But it was quite a bit of, it was extensive work that was done. Yeah, unfortunately, and I can understand, questions. Unfortunately, when you look at their document, it looks like just replaced a pipe, as opposed to the work that was done. So.
But it's more, a little complicated,
Mhm.
because we have what we call injectors in those pipes. So chlorine will flow one way, try to flow back. So there's a few things added in there that amps up the price. Injectors get pretty expensive by themselves. One injector could cost you $1,500, $2,000. They get expensive.
Right, and then the stationary, the pumps were like, how much would one of those things cost brand new? Because I knew one or two wasn't working, we had to do something.
I think the utility director, Mr. Cadet, had got those quotes. I didn't get them.
Okay, yeah, because I know a couple of $1,000.
Yes, they can get a little pricey as well.
Okay.
I didn't have them.
Okay, I'm sorry, we go back to McConnell then.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ready, any other council comments or questions as it relates to the?
No, I was just trying to You know, if it's old, if it's 10 years old, well,
Older
guess what,
than-
you're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the,
And I'm sure that chlorine is rough on the pumps and
Mm-hmm.
Very aggressive.
on the pipe and everything else.
Very aggressive.
yes.
Yes, sir. The pipes themselves, Mr. Mayor, they had been there forever.
Mhm.
So, even when we were using bleach, so.
Absolutely. And as information, we'll probably have more proposals coming to us because, as we know, like I said, it was duct taped together, and so as we go along, we fixing. So, okay. Ready? No other questions or comments? Okay, so with
Pray for the work is done.
Yes, it demanded the repair, and I'm glad that was done.
Yes.
okay.
Thank y'all for getting the job done.
Absolutely. So with that, if there's no other questions or comments, of course, this is a request to ratify the work that has already been done. What is your pleasure?
Being that it was a necessary item, it's considered emergency repair, right?
Correct.
So in that regard, I so move that we approve the authorization of the replacement of the piping, the system that was necessary for, the work to be done for the water treatment plant. So,
Okay, that was in the amount?
in the amount of $18,575, not to exceed that amount.
Thank you so much. Motion
I
has
second.
has been properly moved and seconded. Are there any additional questions on the motion?
No.
Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Buchanan Webb.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis Quince.
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
Yes.
And Mayor Alberry.
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you so much. Our next item is item 7C, and this is a request for authorization for the approval of payment to Sullivan Electric and Pump Incorporated for the electric installation of one new pump. Okay, and that's in an amount not to exceed $6,469.84. Okay.
Yes, sir. This one here is for the motor control room center. They're coming in and they're gonna put in a new panel box that's gonna control actually 3 pumps. We add one more pump in the equation with the other 2 pumps. We have 2 pumps now, but we wanna add another pump, one more pump into that loop. And this company's coming in, we did, reach out for another quote, and because it's kinda complicated when we doing, electrical work for automation. We automating the plant more, because what happened now is 2 pumps online. And if one of those pumps goes off, the pressure drops like a rock. We need another pump to come on, like, right now. Otherwise, we could be in it could happen. It could happen. If no one gets there in time, we could be on citywide boil water. So we definitely wanna avoid that. So when I got there in March of 25, I noticed that and I was like, we gotta get another pump online, because if this go down, we're gonna have problems. So we did receive, I reached out to another company for a proposal, because of the logistics of it and the complication of it. They didn't wanna quote us on it, but I got this company here to come out. They walked through it with another company called CC Controls. It's a whole lot of automation gotta go on, because there's so many steps in the process. When it's time for the plant to come on, time for it to shut off, everything gotta be automated, working together. So they're the ones gonna install the electrical systems. But we have another that was already approved, which is CC Controls, gonna come in and tie all this together and automate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You welcome.
Okay. Righty, council questions or comments?
Thank you for your service.
Hats
Much
off to you.
needed.
Your knowledge base is way above my pay grade.
Okay. So just to,
Thank you.
okay. Ready? So just to be clear, know that we have the transfer switch in the panel, because in sort of walking through it, there was that one panel that I guess controlled one of the pumps that was just sort of antiquated right, so that's what you're referring to? They're gonna be replacing
Most
that
of those
panel?
panels, sir, on that wall,
Mhm.
be replaced. They won't be
Okay,
taken
okay.
down, but a whole new panel.
Okay.
A whole new panel.
So
Majority of
upgrade.
those panels are outdated,
Mhm.
antiquated, so they're
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure because the wording here, I didn't see it specifically stated. I just wanted to make sure that that's, jargon terminology is different, of course, in their field, and just kind of wanted to make sure. Alrighty, and so in the course, like you say that the pumps alternate, so there's two going, and then one, if one goes down, the other one automatically kicks in, and,
Right.
and
It won't
that's the
alternate
plan.
unless we put them in, we'll have to put them in, but if one goes off, another one will come on.
Once we're at that point where it's
Once-
where
yes,
all that's done. Right now, we have to manually do stuff. Okay. Alrighty. Now, the pump itself, I know that there was an extra pump, if you will, at the lift station over by Channel 12. That's the one that's going to be installed there, or are you not sure, or got to check on it?
No, they're totally different. Those
Oh,
totally
two types of
Yes, sir.
pumps? Okay.
Totally different pumps. Totally different,
Okay. And I was kind of hoping it could have been used. That's a big, heavy thing. I mean, it's
yeah.
even
They're not
is.
large enough, they're too small. They don't have
Okay.
enough horsepower. They're too small, they
Okay.
12, we need 15.
Okay.
They gotta push the pressure.
Okay. Alrighty, perhaps we can sell that one on eBay or something and recover some. I'm just good. Alrighty, any other questions or comments?
Just one more question.
Yes, sir.
The three pumps
Mhm.
that supply the tank, do they oscillate? I mean, in other words, the same two's not running all the time,
As we speak, yes, sir, they run all the time.
all the time.
Day and night. They
So the
shut
third
off
pump,
at a certain time, but those two come right back on.
but it's the same two.
It's the same two.
In other words, it's not switching back and forth
It's
to
the
give
same two.
one of the pumps a rest.
No, it's
No.
the same two. Yeah.
Councilman McConnell, Mr. Mayor, if I may, so I think at one time we were trying to run the plant off one. And that just didn't work out, that wore the pump down, but, we're, especially since Melvin's come on board, you know, we're trying to do things. The plant was designed for 3 pumps, 2 at a time, and then 1, you alternate them, but 2 have to be running.
One standby.
Correct.
Alrighty, and we're gonna be installing that standby, which is all part of this, so, okay. Anything else?
Is it installed yet? The third pump?
It can be ran right now manually. If something happened to one of the ones now, it can be ran manually.
Because, I
Get that
mean,
installed.
for a good long time, it was,
Just two.
it just wasn't in existence, it was not there at all.
It was not there.
Nothing. Pump was there, but there was no electric motor to run.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yes, sir, you're correct.
Okay. Other questions or comments?
What they say, mission missing in action?
Yeah. And it's, and just a 30-second add-on to that is that Christmas Day was an illustration of that. Right, I don't hear anything going, and so the guys came out and kind of rotated to make sure everything was okay, and physically have to come, right? And so with automation, it'll just kind of kick it, kind of transfer it where it needs to go, so. Okay.
So if something happens to one of the 2 pumps, being as you're gonna put an automated panel up there, then that the third pump's gonna come on by itself.
By itself.
Yes, have that good relay system in place.
Upgrade.
Absolutely. Okay. Anything else? Okay, other council comments or questions? Okay, hearing none. Okay, anything else from staff?
No, sir.
Okay, hearing no other questions or comments at this time, then we'll call the vote. Roll call, motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, so move that we approve the request for authorization for the approval of payment to Sullivan Electric and Pump Inc. in the dollar amount of $6,469.84.
Second.
The motion has been moved and properly second. Are there any questions on the motion?
No.
Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Buchanan Webb.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis Quince.
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
Yes.
And Mayor Alberry.
Yes.
It passes unanimously.
Thank you so much. Our next item is item 7D, and this is a request for authorization of the approval of payment to PSI Technologies Incorporated for the installation of a manhole lift station pump in an amount not to exceed $6,550.
Mr. Mayor, I'll start off with this. Melvin hasn't been quite as involved with this one, so I'll take it, and of course, as he has more of an expert than I am, he can weigh in as well. So what we have is a manhole on Meander Drive, right across from the park, right off 53rd Street. This manhole, in essence, operates as a lift station. So there are two pumps that are connected to this. These pumps have been failing for some time, and right now the staff, first thing in the morning, what they're doing is they're going to the manhole lift station, taking the lid off and pumping it down because it does fill up. So this request is to replace those pumps. Now, this will not include the electrical work that will have to be done afterwards. Melvin is looking into that part of it, but we're at the very beginning stage, but we do need to get the pumps ordered. So if you want to add to that, you can.
And this is two, thank you, Ken. This is two manhole stations. At first, when I first looked at it, I thought it was one, but it's two.
It is two.
It's-
My apologies.
It's two.
Yep.
It is two. So that's a good, I liked that when I found out it was two and just one. Because, both of these stations need to be upgraded electrically, for power. They upgrading the pumps just a little bit, larger, so they'll be able to grind up whatever they need to do. The pumps we had in there, they just can't do it, they keep failing on us. So we're taking the power up a little bit more, that's why we gotta bring an electrician on Thursday. They're supposed to come out and look at the situation, to wire these pumps for us.
So you're gonna put bigger grinder pumps?
Yes, sir, yes, sir, they're gonna be big.
Bigger the better.
Righty, questions or comments?
No.
It's good, it's good. Glad to hear progress is being done, so we don't have to end up with catastrophes.
Oh, absolutely. So if
So
there's,
here it says manhole lift station pump. So are we looking at manhole lift station pumps? Two pumps or one pump?
No, it's two pumps, it's
Two
two
pumps.
stations, one on Meander and one on the other.
53rd.
53rd.
53rd. Mhm.
Yeah, 53rd right there, so it's two of them.
So it's two pumps, not one.
Two pumps, two stations, my
Two
apologies.
stations, two stations. We're gonna have to do a little bit more, SCADA work there, for SCADA control to let us know when something going on at those stations, because we manually have to go there now. We don't have any, SCADA system there.
Yeah.
So if anything happened to those stations, normally someone got a call and we gotta find it before it happened. So we check them every day. But things could happen.
So is that price gonna double, or is that for both of them?
That's for two.
That's for both of them.
It says
That's
two
for two.
quantity,
It's just the electrical work is not
included.
here.
Included in this.
I should find out something about that on Thursday.
Now, you said this has to be manually done. Is there, a process available to make them, automated? Or is this just out of the question for these sites?
They're gonna be pretty much automated because we have a float system in there, they come on and they pump, but if we lose power there or something, we don't know. So we gotta have some kind of SCADA system put
So
in,
this-
telemetry.
So SCADA system would bring the notification?
It'll let us know.
Okay.
It'll let us know.
Okay. That's
They
what I want.
small, not a lot of activity there, but a long weekend or something like that, something could happen. If we don't come out and check them. Because letting us know what's going on at those stations.
So they basically service the industrial
Yes, ma'am.
area over there? No, not any residential connections to it? Okay.
All commercial.
Okay.
Is that the one down there by the tri-rail station?
That's one of them.
okay. Other council comments or questions?
No.
Okay, with permission, we'll go to the floor. Okay, ready? Okay, all righty. Okay, and we know who you are, just state your name and address for the record. Okay.
I guess I'm.
I'm sorry, we know who you are, but just for the record.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Earl Smith, 1624 Crandon Avenue.
Okay.
Clark, Florida, 33407. Can y'all hear me? We don't have a mic here. All right, so I'm just gonna dive in. It's wonderful that, we have covered this $18,575. It's wonderful that we're covering the 6,000, working and voting to cover the 6,469.84. And I'm not privy to your budget meetings. I'm assuming that you're budgeting this for costs, and if you are, do we have an outside source that can put this bill, and I'm not talking grants, because this is a lot of money coming, and the town should know. So,
Mr. Mayor, if I might,
you should jump in and put it, please.
Mayor and council, so I think I was explaining to most of you one-on-one, those first two items, the 18,000 and then the other one, I'm sorry, the 11,000 and the 18,000. Those two items were emergencies, and in our budget we have built in some money for emergencies. Items C and D were talked about during the budget process. These were planned for. We knew these were coming. And that's right. And the only source that we have as far as handling items like this, that is your utility bill.
Okay.
We're not going to find grants that'll cover emergencies.
I did say it in my opening statement.
Right.
Not grants or trying to find.
Right.
Money is money, and it's gotta come from somewhere, and I'm a taxpaying citizen in the town, so I like to know where my dollar's going.
It's going to stuff like this.
All right, so, that's my only question. Thank you for answering that.
All right.
I'll leave you, I'll let you go from home.
Okay. And if I may just make sure everyone's clear, of course, as it relates to the budget and when we do the budget workshops and here and so forth, is that we do, in as much as we can, those things that we know through the evaluation process, we budget for that. We also have our capital improvement line item, and keep in mind too that, God forbid, if we ever had something that just sort of went outside of that, there is a process called a budget amendment that can be done. So we try to attend to all things and make sure that financially we're being responsible and spending money only when necessary. Right. So that's why we're going to be going to Home Depot, getting these things for cheaper than we're going to. All seriousness, but we do budget for those things and so forth. So to your concern, yes, we do budget for them. Yes.
And I just needed clarity.
Oh, sure.
I'm sure that you budget for it. Things happen, so you gotta have some type of cushion to cover it.
Oh, yes.
I
Yes.
just needed some clarity, because I'm seeing a lot of money.
Oh, yes.
tonight.
Well, absolutely. And in as much as we can, we try and budget for the unexpected or the unknown. So you have that one line item that allows you to do that. So, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, certainly. Okay. Any other questions or comments? We have the floor. Any other comments on this item from the floor? If not, then we'll come back to the dais to see if there's any other questions or comments from council. Okay. Anything from staff? Okay.
No, sir.
Hearing none. Motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, so move that we request the authorization for the approval of the payment to PSI Technologies, Inc. in the dollar amount of $6,550.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Buchanan Webb.
Yes.
Councilmember Davis Coints.
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
Yes.
And Mayor Alberry.
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
Okay.
Thank you.
Righty. And just as we're preparing now to go to reports, if we can, we'll have our consultant, Mr. Pinkney, work with the town manager to look to see what the cost would be for a SCADA system there. And for those, it was just to allow an annunciator, something happens, you go ahead, this loud sound, and then this lets us know. So
Very
okay.
good.
Alrighty, so with that, we'll.
A warning system.
Yes. Okay. So with that, we'll go to our reports.
Public comments.
I'm sorry, public comments. My apologies. I'm crossing right through it. So at this time, the floor is open for public comment.
3 minutes, 2 minutes. How many
Okay.
minutes?
Alrighty, and I'm reminded we have 3 minutes for public
That
comment.
gentleman wanted to go first.
No, he's under my report.
In the red.
He's under my
Oh.
report. the guy in the back. He's
Okay.
under-
The floor is open for public comment.
But, got it. I'm sorry, you got it, sir. I apologize. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I got everything. Good evening, Council Board, Mr. Mayor, and Happy New Year to all of you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
All the residents that's here and all PSO, attorneys. Happy New Year's. January 31st, Vice Mayor, this directed to you, but also to the whole, council board. We would like to have a prayer walk on January 31st. Again, I spoke to some people already.
Great.
It'll be at 7:30 a.m. And we just got to get the PBS so we can get it all approved and get the moving on it. And from that day on, after that day, we want to try to do it quarterly if we can.
Certainly.
And I'll be dealing with you to see if we can do some in between, maybe some not walking, prayer walking, but stand up, stationary.
Right.
If that'd be feasible with you all.
That is feasible, and I think about sometimes we may want to position ourselves over certain neighborhoods or certain businesses for prayer because of conditions that we know that are rising there. So I agree with that wholeheartedly. Thank you.
I really, you said something that's really good because I looked up some of the crime rates and I don't know why our little small town is high above most average in the United States for crime rate.
Okay. Okay, I'll let you finish and, okay.
Yeah, go ahead. But I do know that our PBS over here has been doing a great job. And I commend them. I've been watching them going through some things. First of all, go back to the top. I am yours truly, Apostle George Ferguson, Senior Pastor of Power Prayer Ministry. I am a resident here in Magnolia Park. I live in the Hampton area. All right, so let's move on from there. The gala, the MLK gala, I know we combined it, and I want to know if is there a cost for that, because I know the gala last year, the council normally has a cost, and I don't think MLK ever been a cost. So how is that combined? Is there a cost for it?
There's no fee this year. Since we had to postpone it, we just decided that we wouldn't charge this year.
Good. Thank you for that. So we will be getting that information out to all public, right? Is that open to the public?
It is. I mean, they have to RSVP. We're, concentrating more on the senior population, but it is open to the public.
I think it was something y'all was talking about earlier. Oh God, I didn't write it down.
Okay.
It was something about being paid. All right, I don't have it.
Okay, well, not a problem.
Not a problem.
Right, and if I may, I'll take 15 seconds. So Ken jumping at the bits as well. One of the things that happened a couple of years back was that there was some bogus report put out there that the highest crime rates in the state of Florida and the United States and all of that in Mangonia Park was listed. I was very offended by it, so I chased it down and we found that it was some, I don't know if
Other
he's a
place.
reputable reporter in South Africa who's never visited the United States. I don't know where they were getting their data from that was stating that, and in fact, there were certain cities that was higher crime rates than law enforcement had on its books. And then every now and then you'll kind of go to YouTube and you'll see this guy talking to that voice and everything else. The most dangerous places in Florida to live. Well, I don't know that they're based on fact, but one of the facts of the matter here is that our crime rate is not higher than, And keep in mind too that percentages can make you say almost anything you want to have it being true. When you consider our population versus, and this is no knock at West Palm Beach, versus West Palm Beach. If West Palm Beach had 100 thefts and we had 2, then our crime rate is going to be higher because we have less population. I'm always the kind of person that says, look at the raw data, right? Because if we only had 2 burglaries and they had 100, who had the most burglaries? But the percentages would say, because they get lost in the math, that they have a lower crime rate. But we don't, no, not at all. So.
Yeah, I believe that. I had read it and I was, man, this gotta be great, gotta be way off.
Yeah.
But I do know they could combine Riviera, West Palm Beach all together probably.
Yeah. And if you don't mind, whatever article it was, just get with Ken and we'll chase them down too and try and correct them, and because we don't need misinformation. No, I was trying.
The sidewalk, you was talking about with the young man that was just here earlier, and you were saying about the possibility of safety and all. And if you do put a sidewalk in there, and like you said, if you go to the end of it and something breaks, it can be cost for our time too as well. So I think I agree with what you have said, even though I know y'all already put a motion that said that could be down the road, but probably don't need the sidewalk over there. That's what I said.
Right, but just in case in the future we need it, that was a condition. So okay.
Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you.
I want to tell you that if you know the crime ain't that bad,
Okay.
but that's okay.
All righty, floor is still open for public comment.
Good evening, Brother.
Hi, good
Good
evening.
evening.
Okay.
Good evening.
Represent 5710 Campbellswood Avenue.
Okay.
I was here last month about the issue of the trash.
Mhm.
They hasn't stopped. Got worse. I was here that Tuesday night, making my complaint about the trash. Thursday, got a knock on the door from the sheriff, deputy saying they want me to move my truck that I've been parking there off and on for the past 15 years. So I don't know if that was retaliation because I
No.
complained
sir.
about the trash, but I'm pretty sure y'all seen the pictures of how that looks. Nobody want that in front of their home.
Right.
I have a grandson that plays out there. I'm afraid for them because they dump all kind of stuff out there. And it hasn't stopped. And it's not only outsiders doing it, it's a city worker that continues to dump there. And it's a no dumping sign there. I've been law enforcement for 30 years. If there's a sign there saying no dumping, why is the city official dumping where they put the sign at? I don't understand.
Okay.
Officials.
Okay.
City
All right.
workers you're talking about? Oh, okay. You said officials, that's why I was just making sure.
I mean, not officials, city workers.
Okay.
Okay. So 2 responses. One is that I'll have you get with our town manager, and we'll take care of that. Okay.
Well,
Okay,
you're gonna hear
yeah,
in just a
we'll-
moment, so-
We'll make sure that you're right. So if you're gonna be here throughout the meeting, okay. So after the meeting, then we'll attend to that part of it. Now, as it relates to the law enforcement part of it, the dumping, the dumping by the worker. We'll address that. We'll address
Mr.
that.
Mayor, if I
Okay.
could, so I do have an update. Mr. Gibbs, sorry for not getting back with you. Holidays happened, this is my 2nd day back in the office. So what we have found out, and I think Councilman McConnell and I were talking about this last night. So first of all, no, there's no retaliation here at all.
No.
What had happened, the mayor and I went to the water plant, I believe that was on Thursday or maybe the next day, Wednesday, is when we were looking at these improvements that were being made. While we were there, if he doesn't mind me saying this, the mayor questioned me on one of the vehicles that was parked at the plant. And I just responded off the top of my head, oh, I believe that's one of our staff members' cars. And as we were talking to the staff members, we discovered, and I know the sergeant or lieutenant was involved with this also, that was not one of our staff's car. That car had been parked there for, from what I'm hearing, a number of years. So I got with the sheriff's office, that.
It works, it doesn't sit all that, because that's when I drive back and forth to work down at the courthouse, so it's not an abandoned truck that just sit there every day.
Oh.
I drive that truck also.
Okay. I'm sorry. So
I'm getting to that, sir, if you'll let me.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the process of identifying that owner, we got with the sheriff's office, and tell me if I'm mistaken this, the sheriff's office, when we asked them to go to the water plant and look at that vehicle, get the tag number so we could find out who it is, they saw your vehicle on the side and they thought that's what we were talking about. And we corrected that on the spot. No, that's not the one we're talking about. We're talking about the black vehicle that's actually in the parking lot. So that was not anything to do with you. I didn't have any idea that was your vehicle. I think it's a green Expedition or something like that. In reference to the dumping, so here's and we do have a plan in place. Yes, it's been our staff that's been doing that dumping, and what's been happening is we've had just stray individuals going throughout town dumping in various places, like East Avenue, on Hill Avenue, Dexter and Mulway, and our staff members are the ones that are tasked with picking that up. Sometimes we can get Waste Management to go by and pick it up. So when they pick it up, they have to bring it to a place where Waste Management will pick it up, and that has been that location. Having said that, what we've instructed them to do is to bring everything that they've picked up dumping, get as much in this dumpster here at Town Hall, and then we're going to be working on getting another dumpster at the water plant inside the gate. So my apologies for not getting back with you, but it was very much on our minds. We have put some things in place, and it'll be corrected completely. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, that's, okay. Oh, anything else? And yeah, because I'm glad he cleared it up, because I was talking about a car that was abandoned at the, right, so thanks for clearing that up and sort of led into it, so, okay. So that satisfies everything for you? Okay, well, good.
I just would like to ask you, thank you for your concern about that street and that issue. I noticed that Waste Management did collect refuse today. Did they handle that problem on that particular piece of property? Did you see them collected? Has it been collected today as of this afternoon?
Yeah, they did.
Every week.
Okay.
And they do collect it, but they don't get out the truck and clean up the area after they do it, they just pick it up. So when they do pick up all the trash, there's enough paperwork.
Oh, you're saying that parts of it?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
They don't get up and rake anything up.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I got you.
So, excuse me, I just want to ask a question. Is there any way possible we can put a camera there to see who's dumping illegally at night and the different people that are coming by? Is it possible that we can do that? I'm just asking, just a question.
Let me,
We'll have to
let's say
ask
the
her.
attorney for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can't put cameras up to monitor private property that the town doesn't own. If it was town property, the town could put a
Okay, so-
camera up, but you
right.
can't put cameras up and survey private property.
Right,
You can
well,
only
I'm
put.
not talking about on the private property, I'm saying our property. Can we put a
If
camera?
if it
in?
is your property, but my understanding was it wasn't the town's parcel. It was a.
Well, now,
So
what
on
he's
that
talking about
parcel-
is town right of way.
So
Right.
And we do have cameras up at the water plant. If it catches that location, that specific spot or not, I'm not positive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where we're having, our guys are the ones putting it at that location.
They're not the only ones.
We're picking up from various places throughout town where people are illegally dumping.
Right.
They're bringing it back innocently, putting it there for Waste Management to pick up. But where he's talking about, yeah, I guess 90% of that's our staff that's doing that. Maybe
Okay.
someone's coming by and dropping some stuff to it. Yeah.
Right.
Once we stop doing that, then maybe that
It'll,
part of it will
yeah,
go away.
it
But I
actually.
thought he had said other people was coming
Yes,
by.
it's been going on much longer than what we, right. So one of the things that, the town manager's on vacation the past 2 weeks, and so when we, at the last meeting, said, yeah, there are some things we can put in place, and I try not to put too much on the record so that people, oh, now we know, kind of a thing. So since we're talking about it, we probably, not probably, we consider the efficacy of putting a camera perhaps on the fence line, that sort of, which is our property, to catch it. But I didn't want to put that on the record, because and now people sort of, yeah,
good.
okay.
But the thing is, when I contacted code enforcement officer
Mhm.
last year and told him about it, they did do something
Mhm.
to try to come back trash, but what happened was they put the no dumping sign on the guy's property right next to it where they dumping at.
Mhm.
It's over there in his yard,
Mhm.
they're dumping here
Mhm.
on the city property,
Mhm.
by the water department.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking, why would he put it there? So they're still dumping there, but the sign is way over here.
Mhm.
They should have filled the hole, put the sign there where they're dumping at.
Yeah. It's the actual location, I agree with you, needs to be sort of reassessed and perhaps moved. I guess, and the only way to really is to kind of, well, even if you fence it in, well, a 6-foot fence, they'll throw things over the fence. And so we just need to know who it is and send a message out there that, no, you can't do that here, because we will come, so, okay. So Ken and I will talk
We'll get
about
it.
my plan.
Eventually we'll
offline.
get there.
Okay. Absolutely. We want to, every kind of deterrence we can put in place, we want that in place, and, yeah, absolutely. Okay.
And I just wanted to suggest that whenever you do have information, get it to the town manager as soon as you can, if he can harness that activity at that time.
And Mr. Mayor, I'll add to that, if you see, anyone sees illegal dumping, well, go ahead and call the non-emergency number for PBSO so they can get out immediately. They have the badge and the gun, I don't, so.
Well, absolutely. And the operative word is illegal. Do something illegal.
You have the non-emergency number to contact?
Okay, oh, good. And it's posted at the water plant as well, so, in the event not. Okay, good. And we appreciate your
Thank you.
proactive, we appreciate it. Okay.
All right.
Mhm.
Three things I want to touch base with you guys. Let's start with the highlight property. My thing is, in the morning, I'm regimented. I walk the neighborhood. Sometimes I walk outside the neighborhood. And I'm appalled at what I see at the highlight front time. I took some pictures. I had a notion to send it to each and every one of y'all. But before I jump all over you and this and that, is there anything, we talked in Senate, we talked this, we talked that, that is something that, for the life of me, it's tree trunks growing out the building. Even though they got a man cutting it, it's hay out there. You got saber palms, all overgrown figs attached to them. It's just a mess. And my question is, how much dialogue y'all do with, or have with King Properties? Because it's the same way it was 2 decades ago. It's worse. Well, I won't say it's the same way, it's worse. I know you may not have an answer, but it's anything. And the question specifically is how much dialogue y'all have with Mr. King, because I've moved stuff out of the public storage where my son had his stuff at. That's transit dens, beer bottles, everything. That's to the east. And then the west corridor by McCrae's, or no longer McCrae's, it's worse. And it's in the center of the town, so don't expect you to give me an answer right now, but can you please workshop format, something, continue the dialogue that you, because I know you are calling, and I want to move on. That's a couple of things.
All right.
I'm really looking forward to the answer.
No,
But
actually,
I'm gonna give you
we're,
one.
yes, actually, we believe in trying to address things here, and I
Okay.
think that you had something as well? Okay, Ken? Alrighty, and we'll get to those quickly so we can.
1415 45th Street is under code enforcement action, so we're not going to comment too much on it. But since 2020, that property's been receiving a daily fine. And in our world, that's about the best we can do. But as a matter of fact, we did speak to the on-site supervisor today, and in turn spoke to Miss King, the niece in Ohio, just today. There's a lot of things going on with the property that some of it involves the current owner and some of it doesn't. But there is some code enforcement action in addition to what we've already done, and some of that will probably be brought back to council within a couple of meetings. And I know the attorney would want me to be quiet at that point. So that's the story. As of, we're constantly speaking with the property owners, and even as of today, so.
Okay, thank you for that I got a couple more things I want to touch on and I'll get out of here. Get out of the way. Bryn Mawr, with the connections of the commercial sewer, water, hydrants, et cetera, do we have a status of when they're gonna start paving the roads? Lake Shore in particular, Boardman in particular, and if you talk Brandon where it's existing road, where they gotta level or try to level it out, cause it's pretty beat up. What's the status on that?
Mr. Mayor, he stole my thunder on that. That's part of my report. Starting on Monday the 12th, they're going to start the final part of the paving. That's going to take approximately, they're saying 3 days, so let's give them 5 days. So it is going to disrupt things quite a bit. It will, one lane at a time will be open while they're doing that. I'm not sure exactly which part they're starting at, but they'll start on Boardman. I'm not sure on which end, but that will be starting on Monday.
This also may have to actually shed some light, I guess, on I'm gonna have to sing a moment, but let me just pull it out. Swells. I'm assuming swells is gonna go on where Lake Shore is flooding, become Lake Shore. So conversations about putting swells in there. It's gonna impact my property and several other properties. On my property that drive the like SUV. So I guess you're gonna swell it up. What's going on there and how much impact that's gonna be on me? Because I got vegetation there which I don't really care about because it's maintenance. If you're gonna move it. I have no problem with it. But when is that groundbreaking gonna happen on that?
So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to let the current contractor get out of there. They need to go. So they need to finish up and get out of there. At that point, our engineer is going to come up with some real firm cost estimates for the swell area. I'm going to bring that back to town council, present those numbers to them. Town council is going to vote yes or no on that. And then from there, we will get, if that goes through, then we'll put out for bid for contractors to do that work. And soon, if that goes through, then soon after that will be the property connections to the new infrastructure. So that's the latest on the swell. We need for that current contractor to get out of the way first, get all that done. And our engineer has also recommended that before we start digging up and putting swells in, that we allow the new pavement to see if that cures any of that flooding or not. So that's it.
Okay.
And finally, because I know you already
3
know,
minutes.
I'm ready to go. This is more on a good note. I was on 45th, really west, almost actually to the landfill. I took some hazardous material to my favorite place, paint, tires, stuff like that. That's my place, cooking oil, I go out there. So in doing that today, I looked over at the Mac Bernard Center. I looked over at the Mac Bernard Center, but I did it one even more. I drove up in there and got a hold of staff. They were in the meeting, but I was persistent, got a hold of them. And I spoke with Ms. Mays Lockhart. She runs like a non-profit, faith-based bands and stuff, so they help the youth. That's something Councilwoman Webb may know.
Ms. Mays.
And Vice Mayor, you should know. Hopefully everybody that's on this day should know, but not get involved. But she does really good work with the youth. They're gonna be in Boca coming up with all these colleges coming there, they're gonna perform. But she told me to spread the word to council, but they're always recruiting kids that drumline like performing and stuff, and they work with them, they mentor them, they help them with homework and everything. She's in that building, but she leases it. So she couldn't answer the question about it. My inquiry was, if I want to use the center for an event, you know, because it's a nice place. And she couldn't answer that, so she gave them another call, so I had to call Palm Beach County. They run that, but I think it's a good thing, circle around to it, she's positive. She works with kids, she's worked with my kids when they were in the band. So she know all my sons and stuff, they Suncoast days, and Dwyer days, and all that.
Okay.
So, just wanna throw that out.
Mhm.
On the lighter side, that would be something to follow up on.
Okay, oh, certainly. Just share the information with Ken, and he'll get with our activity coordinator and see what we can get going.
Yeah, that would be a
Okay.
good thing.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, we appreciate it.
Well, don't move.
Okay.
Earl, Mr. Earl, don't move yet. Thank you for coming, and, excuse me, I'm sorry, Mayor. Ms. Mays was my children's teacher, so quite aware of Ms. Mays. And thank you for Boardman and everything you talked about. We are already in the process of it, because I do live on Boardman, and yes, the roads are out of order, but we know that Ken and I and all of us are aware that they will be paving the road once they finish all of the sewers. And they're still working on it very slowly, but they're getting the job done. But thank you for all your concerns.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm wired like this. I'm gonna get up, people that label me as nosy, no, I'm not nosy. I just get up, I'm regimented, I'm gonna walk, and when I walk, I see it in another lens. I told Goodwill about this tree over here that was blocking the sign. They addressed it. I didn't come to the city. I talked to the landscaper. It wasn't a week. They cut that big old tree that's overgrown. Now you can see it from 45th. So I see things. It's
Okay.
just where wired. So I see trash. I see everything.
Yeah, we appreciate it, and yes.
I
Yeah.
might be code enforcement police, but
Neighborhood,
No.
you're the
No,
neighborhood
well,
watch.
you're-
Neighborhood
We
watch.
glad to have you.
Assistant code enforcement, so we appreciate it.
and I'm not looking for promotion.
Okay. Hey, thanks so much, we appreciate it. Floor's still open, if there's any other public comment, floor's still open.
It's always good to have active members of the community
Absolutely.
involved with the needs that need to be addressed.
Okay.
And
Alrighty, seeing that there's no other comment from the public, we'll close the floor to public comment. So at this time, we're gonna go to our reports, Ken?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, thank you for your time tonight. This has been very productive. I too thank the public for their comments. It's beneficial to us, keeps us on our toes. We appreciate it. Briefly, I want to introduce, well, let me give some background. So we've put out for quotes on the new sound system. So the irony of it is tonight the batteries failed in the mic, and that's not the sound system's fault, that's the town manager's fault. But I think everyone agreed that we need to look at a new sound system and streaming apparatus. So we've invited both vendors to come out, listen to the meeting, kind of get an idea of what we're up against. And one of them is here tonight. Perhaps the next meeting the other one will come, but they've both been invited. I'm going to ask Mr. Darian Doherty to just stand up and introduce himself, get a 1 minute overview of your company, and then we'll do the same thing for the next gentleman if he shows next week. And I believe you may know the vice mayor already. So.
Yes. Other contacts many years ago.
Yes, very, very long time ago. Good evening, Mayor.
Good
Vice
evening.
Mayor,
Good evening.
Town attorney, town manager, and citizens in the community. My name is Darian Doherty. I own and operate Prime Star Digital Network. We are a television broadcasting company located right in the Lakeport area. We broadcast a tremendous amount of live television. One of the things that really matter most and connect most with municipalities is the fact that we produce the commission meetings, town hall meetings for a lot of the municipalities here in Palm Beach County. Therefore, it saves you a lot of time, resources, staff, overtime, because all the heavy lifting is done by our organization, and therefore you get to utilize our technology, our strengths, and be able to have access to the same resources as the larger communities and the smaller communities. So therefore, when you say, hey, we want to have maybe like a state of the city or something like that, when we come in and produce it, we know exactly the way that it's done throughout the county and on a national basis. When you're having community events, like your parades, your MLKs, you know, we know how to produce those that make them look like your Macy's Day Parade events, because we do large scale events. So we're located right here in Palm Beach County. This year is our 10th year in business. We produce over 150 commission meetings for Palm Beach County municipalities every single year. That is a tremendous amount of commission meetings. We're in a lot of different cities. Not only are we doing the commission meetings, we're doing the CRA meetings, we're doing the P&Z meetings, and we actually do them two ways. One, on site, where we actually come in and we run your equipment, and two, we have a remote television studio. So in a case like yours, it makes more sense for it to be remotely done, so therefore you're not giving up as much real estate, and you're not making a huge capital investment into equipment. You're basically having a small amount of equipment in here, and it is ran by IP to our studio, and we're doing all the heavy lifting, and you're using all of our equipment. We're doing all the updates, and you're only using it on an as-needed basis. So therefore, you don't have the expenditure up front or as you go, because you're only paying for what you use, almost like leasing a car. But in this particular case, if you have a meeting this month, you pay for that one meeting. If you don't have a meeting this month, you pay nothing. So therefore, you're only paying what you use instead of having a room full of equipment that you're not using, or a bunch of technology that you've overspent on based on your size.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay.
Well,
Short
I'll,
and
can you,
sweet. I like
can
it.
you, would you
Bullet
tell them
points.
brief, Mr. Mayor?
Just before we do, because we want to make sure that this was an information sharing as opposed to information gathering as well. Let me go to Amity, and just to kind of make sure we are, if it's okay to ask questions, let's make sure we get.
Yeah, I think we need to be careful if, we need to make sure the next person is
Well,
given
they're-
the same questions and the
they're
same
getting
opportunity.
the same opportunity,
Yeah.
certainly.
Okay, alrighty, so with that.
Can you, would you tell the council who some of your clients are in Palm Beach County?
We just have to
Some of
make
the
sure we
municipal
with
clients.
everyone who comes.
Boynton, Delray, Lake Worth, South Bay, Pahokee, Bellevue, Lewiston. We have a lot of CRAs. When it comes to producing television for municipal organizations, there is no one that does what we do. There are companies that specialize in home theater or commercial sound systems, but we're the only company that owns a TV truck from the NFL, period.
Wow.
We're the only company that have a TV studio here in Palm Beach County where we can IP any municipality at any given time to be able to do a meeting or do remote equipment. A great example of that was in October, I believe it was, the city of South Bay needed to do their budget workshop, their final hearing, and that was going to be on a Wednesday evening. The week before, we looked at the calendar, we realized that they didn't schedule a meeting on Tuesday as they normally would. We reached out to them. No meeting, we're just gonna do a budget workshop Wednesday. So the staff member that actually runs South Bay meetings went on vacation because the city said there was no meeting. So the night of Tuesday, because the budget workshop is tomorrow, Wednesday, at 6:26 p.m., the city manager calls me, Darian, where's Derek? Derek's off. We have a commission meeting. Well, you know, we're standing in the chambers. We need to do this meeting. Because I was in our TV studio, I walked down the hall, I logged into all their cameras, set up their broadcast to their website, got them on TV by 6:34 p.m. So as the meeting started at 6:30, they had only lost 4 minutes of time.
That's great.
And we actually broadcast it from our TV studio. And it actually looks better when it comes from us as well, because you're using all of our equipment versus the equipment with this out of chambers. So therefore, we've invested a tremendous amount of resources into what we do. We're not fly by night. We've been with multiple municipalities now for on average 7 years, and you can't be with a municipality for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years and not be at the top of your class. It's just not even practical. You all know it. You have vendors that will be with you for a year or so. They fall off for various reasons. We're one of the ones that have been around with most municipalities on an average of 7 years.
I appreciate you stopping by, and we
Thank you
will
so much.
obviously offer, and we have offered the opportunity to the other vendor as well. Thank you very much. And
Well,
let's
thanks so
see.
much, we
allowed to
appreciate
ask
it.
questions?
Okay.
Yes, I'll.
Normally in the process you
Oh.
can, as long as you're even and equal with the next persons or persons, and I just wanted to make sure we pass
Yeah, I
that
mean,
to
this
our
is a public
attorney.
meeting, so he's giving a presentation. You can ask questions. I would just, as Ken
I
said.
have to remember the same exact question that I asked him to ask the other person.
Write it down.
No, just make sure we entertain questions. If the next person comes to the next meeting, that there's the same level of dialogue provided to that other entity.
Okay. Alrighty, so with that, feel free.
Great presentation, bullet point, and you got straight to it. I am concerned about security, and I hear everything that you have to say, but you know, things happen, wiring. So say for example, a big rat just come from nowhere and just starts biting up the wires, and we have to go on. What happens then?
If a big rat comes in and bite up the wiring, obviously the wiring needs to be replaced. You know, there is no magic. No one can say, well, if a rat bites a wire and it's compromised, you know, it's just gonna still work. No, the wire needs to be replaced. There is no other answer you can give someone that's honest, that makes sense.
What about security? How do you secure? You know how everyone could just tap into something. They find a way to get in there.
When you say securing to get into the building or securing to be able to see what's happening on the cameras?
To see what's happening on your cameras.
There is no company on planet Earth that can tell you that everything is 100% fail-proof. That's right. Because you have people that sit at home all day long and at nighttime who try to figure out ways to get into anything. So any company that comes here and say that we're foolproof, maybe you're foolproof today, but within the next 6 hours you may not be.
Thank you.
The internet is global.
Okay. Anything else?
Infallible.
Anything else?
No. Tell the truth.
That's right.
I don't know what you know, so it's not up to me to sit up here and fill you full of hot air when you all could be, you know, certified IT, you know, trainers. So it's like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna come and just tell the truth. Because, you know, decency is the final thing. If you can afford it, then right now I can afford it.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
That's good.
Okay.
And to Mr. Mayor, just to the point, whoever the vendor is, they're gonna be working closely with our IT, and in fact, our clerk and our IT director are the ones that are coordinating this effort. So whoever is selected will work with Tony.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ready? Other questions?
Thank you for coming.
No,
Alrighty.
you've been explicit in,
Mhm.
in your credentials are very well stated, appreciate that. And glad you were considering to be a service that we can greatly use.
Yes, certainly. Oh, definitely. And I was very attentive. I'm actually looking at us now, and this is just, yeah.
Do you have?
Wasn't looking at ours.
Okay. Good. Okay. Now, I'm sorry. I did have it. Now, as it relates to equipment, you talked about off-site equipment because you have a studio and so forth. You'd have to have a camera and what else?
Well, typical in a chambers, and when I say typical, it doesn't mean that you're obligated to have it. So basically, you could make the investment to whatever level of equipment you so desire. But within a municipality chambers, for the most part, you typically gonna do 3 cameras at the absolute least, 2 on the back wall, 1 on the front wall. When I walk into a building and I see a system that another vendor has already done, the first thing I look at is the camera placement. That lets me know if they're TV people or not. Because TV is presented a certain way, and either you get it or you don't. Just because it's a municipal meeting, this is not the 70s or the 80s where the only municipal meetings on TV was C-SPAN. This is modern technology now to where younger people are engaged. We gather content differently, and therefore, if you don't bring the visibility to us in a way that we can connect, we're going to disconnect and not be involved. So therefore, the first thing I look at is how they have things structured in there. But you can put in the amount of cameras you so desire. We can help you with that. We can show you other municipalities. We've just finished the upgrade for Lewiston. We just did the cameras for the very first time in Village of Palm Springs. So a lot of the larger municipalities here, that's my signature. So, you know, these are all your peers within the same county. So therefore, I'm not trying to name people outside of the area because that may be impressive, but these are your colleagues that actually do business with us every single week, and we've done the work for them, and we're the trusted vendor for them for years and years for multiple reasons. So, TVs, we use Sony TVs, Sony commercial. We don't use other brands because why? Sony makes commercial TVs. They're going to last. They're going to work. When you turn them on, they're going to look amazing. So we don't sell price point equipment. The reason why we don't sell price point equipment is because we service what we sell. If we've been here in Palm Beach County for 10 years, and I purposely purposely sell you low-cost equipment. I've just signed myself up to have to come over here all the time to come fix on that. And at some point, you're gonna say, you know what, you keep selling us bad things. And some folks may say, well, he's selling you bad things because he wants you to keep calling him. So we sell you the right thing to begin with, and a lot of folks understand that, and they value the fact that it looks good, it works, there's no frills about it, and it's quality.
Okay. Sort of a rhetorical question. So all of the panning and scanning and so forth,
We do all
you
that.
do all of that off-site at
We do
the
all
studio?
that stuff.
Okay.
We produce professional television.
Okay.
We're television broadcasters, and there's a big staff of us. Again, we own a television broadcast truck that was used in several Super Bowls, that was used for the Atlanta Braves. We own the truck, it's Ryder Lake Worth, so we produce television. So therefore, the production you will get from us is going to be camera switching, telling a compelling story. When there's a hybrid guest, we bring that guest on TV. So therefore, they look like they're supposed to look. It's not going to be a Brady Bunch appearance. So we produce television. So we don't compete with people. We're in our lane of we're good at what we do, and we do good business. So we don't debate with anyone over who we are, what we do, because our track record speaks for itself.
Okay.
And our reliability.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Well, thank you so much for staying by
Thank you
and
for coming.
and
Happy New
presenting. We
Year.
really appreciate it.
Thank you all for not having car for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Appreciate you.
All righty, thanks so much. Okay.
And Mr.
So,
Mayor, just
Ken,
a
we're
couple
still on
more.
your- we're
I'm
still
sorry,
on your
quick,
reports.
quick items. And unfortunately, we have to know tonight for the MLK breakfast, which is on the 19th. We need your RSVP if you plan on going. Sherry needs to make arrangements with them tomorrow. That is at 8 a.m. at the convention center, just like it is. So that's the day of the holiday, Monday the 19th. So just want to shoot me a text or whatnot, but as of tomorrow, we're going to have to turn in names. And of course, we spoke about our gala, which is the 17th, beginning at 6 p.m. here. Tallahassee is next week, leaving on Tuesday morning. I'll leave that up to the mayor as to what time we meet and leave from Town Hall. And of course, as normal, we'll spend, Tuesday evening up there. We'll be at our lobbyist event Tuesday evening. Wednesday, we'll spend all day at the Capitol, and then on Thursday morning, I guess we trek back home. Talked about the road paving in Bryn Mawr. Ms. Davis Quince, Councilmember Davis Quince, brought to me an article today. We had staff make copies of that, and we distributed out good info about property tax rates in Palm Beach County. So very interesting stuff. Otherwise, just a quick word. The IT person and the clerk, they've been working with these two vendors for the sound system, and we're close to having something in front of you, but we did want to offer them the opportunity to be here, to witness, and then to present themselves quickly. And I have nothing else if you have no questions for me.
Okay, thanks so much. Righty, so with that, okay, so with that, anything else?
No, sir.
Okay,
That's all
all right,
of
thanks
it.
so much. PBSO?
Nothing to report. Passing on down. Might as well. I'm gonna use it though. Pass it.
Okay.
Come. You have,
Surveillance trailer?
got you.
It's over there in East.
Okay.
Yeah, we can move over. It's over on 53rd now, but
Okay.
time to move. It's over there for the same purpose that we legal dump.
Yeah.
We'll just relocate it for now.
Yep.
Now, we're monitoring traffic back off of hooks. Nothing really to update, but we're still doing it.
Okay. All righty.
That'd
Well,
be
thanks.
great.
So we'll let you know if we need to have that relocated at some point. So we appreciate it.
I'll move tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just speak with Ken and we'll kind of see where, right, and we'll get that arranged if
Absolutely.
necessary and when. And okay. Thanks. We appreciate it. Okay. Anything else? Any questions for PBSO? If not, Amitty?
No report, Mayor, thank you.
Okay. Thanks so much. At this time, we'll go to Councilman Webb.
I have 4 pages. I couldn't wait, and I'm ready to move.
Okay, we'll take 3 tonight.
So I'm calling back all my 2 minutes of public comments. No, kidding. So I want to read this. I said I was going to try to do it openly, but I don't want to get carried away, so be patient with me. When I say I, sometimes it means personally me, and I will say we, meaning the town. As I choose wisdom, growth, and victory, I declare that this year I am not limited by fears and mistakes or yesterday's setbacks. I'll learn from my past but won't stay or live there. Through growth, discipline, and self-control, I will sail to higher heights as I continue to collaborate, unite as we face obstacles and challenges. When pressure comes, we will not give up. When temptation appears, we will choose purpose. When life feels heavy, we trust that God has already made a way, because our God is faithful. I often say my motto is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I will do and want to do what is right because God always sees us through. Our families and our community would stick together as our youths rise in confidence. Our homes and our community would be filled with peace, courage, and direction this year as we move forward with faith and focus. And of course, one of these days, my aim and my goal is to make it to AGT because I do sing like Whitney Houston, like the staff would tell you when I appear. I am also one of the most famous authors like Florence Williams or my idol, Sherry. So everybody would know, like, I idolize Sherry in many different ways, and this is not me just saying it because she's not here. Before I even lived in the town, I volunteered and I looked up to her. So everyone has like an idol, somebody they want to be like I said, I want to sing. And most of my professional tributes that I have is hats off to her. And I remember my dialect was so bad. And I used to just memorize and rehearse in front of the mirror. And I wanted to be different. I just wanted to be set aside because of how I was raised. And I will just go across. Ken, my man in black, as you wear these glasses and these shades sometimes, I feel so protected. And you bring such flavor to our town. I have so much that I could go on, but I just want to stop there. Shorty, the man of many words. No, I should say less words. Also my gala partner with a clean shave and a suit. You put silence to the room. And of course, did I tell them that you're a great dancer? Like when you guys almost fell off the 360. But I hope to walk with you this year in many galas as you get that clean shave and put that suit on and let's rock it like we're doing the town of Mangonia Park. Lisa, my hairstylist. Now, who would know from Winn-Dixie days the Jerry curl and the scrunches that we'll be collaborating together today? And of course, you're always dressed for the occasion. Miss Mitty, I remember when you just came here, I do not like changes, let me tell you right now. I'm like, oh my God, where is she going? I'm just used to this one person. I don't really like speaking, and at one point you were so low and then you were going fast. But of course, you know, God placed people in different places, and you came with many benefits with your expertise. Not only are you a town's attorney, you oftentimes become my counselor, like when I call and I'm like, Miss Mitty? And then she would just sit there and like, yeah, and then she just allows me to vent. And believe it or not, that's therapy, because sometimes I explode, especially when I want the best for the town. So thank you for listening to me. Vice Mayor, you've saved me in many different ways, and you humbled me in many different ways because of your grace. I remember when you first came with me to my very first event, I had no public speaking at all. I was so timid, but I had a vision to do a father-daughter dance, and you supported me in that event. And that made me feel so special because a lot of lives were touched and a lot of girls were able to just come out and just be themselves. And I saved the best for last, our mayor. So he's like a father figure. I don't have a father, my dad died, but every now and then, even before I came on this dais, I'd be like, Mayor, of course you call him 10 times, you gotta call him 10 times for him to answer, but he always have that word, but it comes with, Kalisha, you know I'm telling you? And then I'm like, okay, just cut to the chase, I really need this counseling, but he has to tell you the right way, the right path, and then he has a way that he has to strategically put it so you can understand it and get it. And he always get it right. Never miss a beat, as much as I want him to just chop it up and give it to me in pieces. I just have to understand it. And he is so humble that he has not just saved, he has served our town along with an extraordinary staff. And of course, our captain is not here for me to give him his kudos, because I remember back in the days, him and Miss Lisa are probably my two that I became in contact with, where I would not pass Winn-Dixie Plaza unless I put my seatbelt on coming across Australian Avenue. And I would rather go around than to come this side on 45th Street. So of course, again, that is my go-to getting into 2026 as I continue to serve this little big beautiful town of Mangonia Park. Thank you.
Thank you. Woo, ready.
Well written, well said, we'll take it, thank you.
Pass the tissue. Thank you so much, we appreciate that.
Exceptional,
Yeah, we appreciate it, thanks so much.
Respecting that, but thank
We
you.
should say just amen and go home after that one. But we'll keep going. Thank you so much, we appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Okay. Should have saved that for last, I had known. McConnell.
How can you follow that, huh?
I can't follow that.
All righty, Councilwoman Davis.
I just want to say thank God for bringing us over to a new year. So grateful. So many people did make it over. And just to be here is a blessing. And thank you for the staff, and feels like family. We have our agreements and disagreements, but we keep moving. And that's the part I love. We don't fall out. We don't get mad if I don't agree or disagree. We are like siblings, and I thank God for that.
Amen.
Siblings agree and disagree. So thank you, and thank you, Ms. Smitty. I always thank you, Mr. Ken. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you, Earl. Thank you. Oh God, thank you for the sheriff. Thank you. Thank everybody for everything that you do to make things happen. Amen.
Amen.
Well, since everybody is expounding, I did have some thoughts over the week. I was thinking of how our dais has been filled with wisdom, different views, different parts of life, but yet we seem to come together as a cohesive force to establish peace, harmony, and progress in the town of Mangonia Park. And I thank God for that. When I first came on council, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, why am I here? But then as I see the need in the community, and I see how things work together with a little research, a little consciousness, and a lot of compassion, we can make a difference. And I thank God for the opportunity. 2026, greater things are coming to Mangonia Park. Praise God for all of your support.
Oh, certainly. And I'll just say ditto to all of that. I mean, yeah, thank you guys so much for speaking from your heart, and we know and understand that it's not easy sometimes, and difficult decisions, particularly when your decisions affect other people, and so we thank you so much again, as stated, our attorney, our PBSO, our town manager, staff, and you. This potpourri of folk who get together and make tough decisions. We really appreciate it. Not always, as the Councilwoman Davis Quinn stated, agreeable, but we have always been agreeable to disagree, and that's part of democracy. Just as I look nationally, then I kind of look here, and I was like, I wish it could work like it does here. Yeah, I mean, if things were just nationally like it is here in Mangonia Park, it would be world would be a whole lot better place. So continue to do what you do. There's an old saying that I learned as a child in church. Right in the corner where you are.
Amen.
Right, and so everybody just light the candle where you are, and before you know it, we've lit up the whole world. So just continue to be you. Thank you guys so much for all you do. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay. So with that,
Very good.
So
I
with
just wanted
that-
to step in on one little thought that came to my mind I forgot to mention. 18 years of working this position on council as a councilwoman. I never would have believed my first day on council, even when the mayor spoke to me about consider running for council. I said, I don't need to run, I got a seat. I don't need to run for no council seat. But I thank you, Mayor, for your insight and encouragement, and of course, the support from each one of you, especially Town Manager, with his constant reinforcement of, you got the best idea I got today, Those kind of comments are so encouraging. because we need to support each other as we're pushing through this. So thank you for 18 years.
Absolutely.
The additions that have come from each one of you have made excellent contributions, even when we had Earl on the council for a while.
Oh, absolutely. I had turned this off, I was, yeah, right. Oh, okay, as we get ready to wrap up and close, I've always said, 30 years in management, it doesn't take a great manager, it takes great people under the manager.
Yes.
And so thank all of you guys and for what you do. A wise man once said, if I try and do this all by myself, I'm gonna fail. But if you try and do it with competent, qualified people, it all makes it work. So thank you guys for all of your competency and your willingness to make it work. So with that, motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Okay.
Oh, second.
A second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Pose
Aye.
same sign. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys and have a great one.
Felicia?
Oh, now Tallahassee, Ken did, please get with Ken as it relates to Tallahassee if you haven't already.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we've already made our
Okay.
pledge.